to be a, an outcome of a choice. I mean, it's not like we have to, I think there should be an intention if you're gonna, as far as our situation goes.
Right. And I don't really want to know anything about specifically what it is. Just to ask that Spirit reveal from its perspective and your purity and integrity to the process, the hearts of everyone from this perspective to see where compromise, if there is compromise, where it goes. I'm just a conduit, and will speak as I'm impressed to speak. Right, like I don't even want to know why it's gotten to this point, and it's not for me to know. But as I said, I just want to see if this process is even doable in a joint matter, because as I said, I've never done this before. So does that make sense?
Yes. I've done a lot of introspection on my own.
Okay.
Doing something together like this, there are at least some kind of parameters or explanation, or
both of you will be listening to each other and coming from your place of vulnerability and truth to yourself as to who you are, and it's from that emotional place that's kind of like the hotline into God to answer. At least that's always how it works on a one-on-one basis, right? And so, Antoinette, I can't answer anything more about the process on a joint situation, because I've never done this before on a joint situation, right? And so
I have a suggestion. I'm just sitting here praying and asking God, to give us a download of, because like you were saying, you've never done this before, but I really feel in my spirit, this is something that, even though you may call it a different thing, we've been batting around for the last 2.5, 3 years that we've been doing this project together. We've had people come in and out that suggested healing stuff, because everybody has their programming, right? And we all tend to, because it comes up with your closest people that you love the most, because you see each other's flaws and stuff more than other people, right? So we've been praying and talking about this JC for quite a bit. I mean, a long time. And even I told the guys at the church today kind of I didn't tell them any details. I just told them we were trying some new experimental cutting edge things for communication, for healing our past traumas, because what I'm finding, not just with me and Antoinette, everybody, I'm a pastor, so I hear from people, they come and they pour out their soul and cry and tell me all this stuff, and we're not like unique with this kind of situation. I mean, it's out there everywhere. So how do we heal it? So I don't know if it's better to try to do
well, again, what we're adding to the element, mm-hmm. hopefully, is the revealing of God in this matter, right? Because everything is going through spirit, everything is going through the inside mindset. It has nothing to do with the outside mindset and the unconscious mind, right? And so that's what this is. It's an added element of mm-hmm. of what God is revealing, right? And as I said, I have no idea how it's going to go. I would imagine it would probably be kind of like a joint revealing, not just one person speaking something, the other person quiet, but a joint revealing, right? And so.
Okay, well, we can get
that's all I can say that this is.
I was just to throw it out there, just have several ideas that we don't have to just stick to one methodology. We could try several different things. But what I was praying about and thinking you can try putting us doing it at the same time and see how that goes, and you guide us through both at the same time, or you could let one go and the other just sit back and be like a fly on the wall listening, and the other person then has their turn. I don't know. I'm just,
I don't know either. It's
Yeah.
either one of those ways. Absolutely, Ahava. It's either one of those two
well,
ways.
I'm just saying for us as, because if we can learn how to perfect this as a group, because we can help businesses, we can help marriages, we can help friendships.
It's infinite. It's infinite.
Yeah,
It could even be facilitated in group situations.
Well,
right?
that's yes, exactly. So that would be really cool. So I don't know. We're gonna I guess let you guide us now. I'm just Antoinette. Do you want to say anything else? I'm just willing to just sit back and let you just go with the flow and see what happens, and be open and just see.
That's the key. Just to be vulnerable, be yourself, and be true to the integrity of who you are. Right. Be and that's the key. And that's I think it's. On the Beatitudes, when Jesus says, "And the meek shall inherit the earth," right? And that meek is those that are vulnerable, those that can allow this emotional connection, which is what this is through the spirit and unconscious mind with God. That's the portal. The emotions is the portal to it all, right? And so what I'd like to do is kind of begin by closing my eyes.
Okay.
And I'm going to ask both of you do the same. And I'm going to start with Ahava. And Ahava, I'm going to ask you to close your eyes, count out loud backwards from 10 down to 1, and begin when you're ready, please.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Excellent. Antoinette, could you do the same, please?
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Beautiful. I would like you both to change the focus of your attention from outside of you to inside of you, please. And when you've done that, let me know when you've focused on your breathing, please.
Okay.
Okay.
Beautiful. I want you now to both take a couple of normal breaths. And as you take those breaths, I want you to silently count to 3. Do that for 2 breaths, please, and let me know when you're done.
Done.
Beautiful. Just take a couple of slightly deeper breaths now. 2 breaths, holding each breath for a silent count of 5. And let me know when you're done, please.
Done.
Done.
Beautiful. What I want you to do now, is I'd like to ask your unconscious mind, your spirit, and your inner self from deep inside of you to send a signal to your outside body. And as you do, I want your awareness now to scan your outside body. Tell me where and what that signal is, please. What's different? And whereabouts is it on your body?
My right arm, just above my elbow, just started itching.
Okay, beautiful. I want you to focus your attention on that right elbow, where that itch is. And as you're focusing your attention on that spot, from the inside, I want you to visualize a thread of your spirit moving right through that place and connecting with your outside conscious mind, thread of consciousness, kind of like your left and right hand clasping together. And as you do, Ahava, a golden thread is going to come out of that point. It's going to move right up your right arm, through your right shoulder, straight across into the center of your spine, where the opening is, and straight up from there, moving through your throat, straight through your head, and just out your crown chakra. And let me know when you're about a 1/4 inch to a 1/2 inch out, please.
Okay.
Beautiful. Antoinette, I'd like you to do the same, please. I want to ask your unconscious mind, your inner self, and your spirit from deep inside of you to send a signal to your outer body. And as that signal is being sent, I want your awareness now to scan your outer body. And I want you to tell me where and what that signal is, please. What's different? What are you feeling? What's the sensation and what is that signal, please?
Just it's like I mean,
From that point, from the inside, I'm going to ask you to visualize your spirit running straight through that point. Use your outside mindset, stream of consciousness, so that the two, kind of like your left hand and right hand clasping together. And as you do, Antoinette, a golden thread is going to come out of that point, move inside your head and straight up through your crown chakra. And let me know when you're about a 1/4 inch to a 1/2 inch just outside your crown, please.
there.
Beautiful. Now I want you both to become the eyes at the end of your golden thread, which is your spirit. In a moment, we're going to release it. And as it releases itself, it's going to move instantly into timelessness. And it's going to reveal to you exactly what it wants you to know right now. It could be anything, anywhere, at any time. And whenever you are impressed, I want you to just speak and tell me what it is that you're being impressed. So I want you both now to release your spirit, move it into timelessness, and just tell me when you're being impressed and what it is that you're being instantly impressed. Doesn't matter who goes first.
I see a picture of us like when we were like, little kids in a field holding hands, like we're gonna do this thing, like little kids, like making a pact or something.
Okay.
And
when you say us, who is us?
me and Antoinette, I always see her with freckles.
Okay.
Kind
Okay.
of strawberry curly blonde hair.
Okay. And is this at a place that that looks familiar to you?
No, it's just like we're out in the field, like just laying, looking at the clouds, talking, like little girls talking, like planning something.
Okay. Okay. And whoever feels impressed, please feel free to add and or continue on. Beautiful. So what?
See a pool of water.
Okay.
That's all.
Okay.
It's a pool of water in a rock.
Okay.
It's the ocean.
So it's an ocean?
It's the ocean, but it's like a lava pool or something.
Okay. All right. I want you, beautiful. I want you guys to just continue to allow your spirits to lead wherever, and let me know what it is that you're being impressed. You're doing a beautiful job just being and allowing yourselves to be vulnerable and open, and allow your true self to come forth, and God to link it all together here to try to reveal what it wants to reveal regarding this situation.
Yeah, it's a connection to lava, the rocks, Hawaii. I feel like I missed it with Ahava. But it was sort of a deeper spiritual connection I wanted to have.
Okay.
And it had to do with islands.
All right. And how I'm sensing that that's kind of the initial impression that you received as well, right? To very, very young people out in the field.
Well, it's like a soul connection, like a sister connection. I saw this before with Antoinette and myself, the same picture. So it's come to mind before. It's kind of similar to. It's so similar. It's the same. It's the same. When she said we want a closer connection, it's the same as my other sister, truly. And I think Antoinette with her sister, that we didn't have that intimacy, closeness. And we've had that, Antoinette, but then there's times when the enemies come in, and
let's just focus. Sorry, but let's just focus on the spirit revealing to you. What I'm being impressed is that you're both in your own ways seeing the same thing regarding that deeper connection, that deeper spirit connection.
Well, I'm seeing
that you both have.
I'm seeing us in the field, and a white unicorn just showed up, like a glowy white unicorn, like you see on a TV commercial.
Okay, and what do you impress that means?
I think he's like, come on, you guys, get out of the field, get on my back, and go on a magical mystery tour.
So why don't you do that? Why don't you get both of you just hop on that unicorn and see? Tell me now what the spirit is revealing to you as you're. I just was impressed with the words "magical mystery tour."
He's like, please, Dayglow, like he's like a glowy, like a spirit unicorn. I don't know how to explain it. So he's like, come on, let's go for a ride.
Beautiful. And Antoinette, what are you sensing regarding that? Is that impressing you as well?
It's interesting that I'm more wanting to be grounded, and I'm interested in the water and in Hawaii, the rocks, the magic of the island itself.
Okay. Why don't you let that develop more? Why don't you let that develop that more and understand what Spirit and God wants you to understand regarding that?
I feel it's kind of like a sadness. Like I wanted her to see that.
Okay. And Ahava, are you feeling that?
Yes, I feel like I'm up on the back of this horse with the white unicorn thing. I don't know why I keep calling him a magical, but he's like a magical unicorn, right? He's kind of like a spirit unicorn. I don't know what else to say. He's glowy. And I feel what she's saying, because I think that's a lot of she's like really wanting to stay on the ground and grounded, as she said. And I'm kind of wanting to go, okay, there's all these people. I want to go fly.
Yes.
And I want to go bring them back here with us to be in this grounded place. But but I want you to go with me on the back of the unicorn. And she's like, nope, not going.
and isn't that exactly who you both are?
It's pretty much, I mean, actually we're pretty balanced, like, because I'm kind of the extrovert out there and she's very grounded. It's like a marriage,
Yeah, well, I want to see if Ahava, you flying on your unicorn, and Antoinette, you being grounded in the lava of Hawaii, if you're able to sense each other, if you're able to come together. Are you?
Let
Are you able to sense
Are you coming tomorrow?
any type of...
I love you.
It's almost like, I want to say, don't you see how wonderful this is? Don't you see how wonderful what you have? This is just so beautiful. The grounding, the water, the island, the ocean.
And I'm being impressed to say that for whatever reason, I'm seeing the Empire State Building, and there's the foundation within the Empire State Building, and then there's the rest of the building and that top floor, right? And so what I'm being impressed is that you guys both have it all. You have it all. You have that Empire State Building. You just haven't. The foundation hasn't been connected with the rest of the building, right? And the rest of the building can't stand without a foundation. And there's no use having a foundation if there's no rest of the building. Does that make sense?
Well, what I'm looking at is the source.
Okay.
It's the source.
Okay. And
That's all I know. It's the source. The source comes from a foundation, and recognizing and honoring that, and seeing what that is, how strong it is, and how it just it has everything we need to build, to go wherever you want to go. I think it just feels like I want her to see that.
Ahava, do you see that foundation and how beautiful it is?
If I feel safe to be able to fly and come back to the nest. I'm like right now seeing okay, the Hawaiian Islands with these big white birds. It's kind of not a unicorn anymore. It's a big bird with a nest. And I guess maybe one of those birds that goes out with the boats, right? That follows the boats when the fish come up to the top.
Fish up, yeah.
The seagulls or and they come back to the dock, but they go out to sea and then they come back to the dock. And I see what I believe that Antoinette and I've been trying to do from the beginning is build something to come back to. But truly, I believe she knows, I trust, she's so talented that she can do this, and that I think that I guess.
So Ahava, are you seeing that the foundation is built?
Yeah, it's like a pier. I'm a seagull, and I can come back to this big white nest.
Okay.
And it can bring fish. It can bring, and
how-
drop them
how
off
does
and go back out because I feel like that it's secure.
Beautiful. And how does that make you feel?
Well, I wouldn't go out and fishing if I didn't feel like I had some nest to bring back the fish to, right? Where would you take the fish to?
Okay. And Antoinette, how does it feel with that secure foundation, having more involved with it?
I don't know where it is. I don't know where the nest is.
I'm like you. I see it in Hawaii. I see it. I don't know exactly which tree, but it's in Hawaii.
Okay, well you're both in Hawaii. That's great.
No, Antoinette's in Colorado, but virtually we can be in Hawaii.
Tonight she's right at this moment. She's in the lava of Hawaii. That's what I mean. That's what I mean.
Yes, hallelujah.
Yes. Yeah. Okay.
It reminds me of a place on the Big Island that I just kind of stumbled across, and it was in rocks, and it was kind of hidden. But you looked down in there, and it was just this crystal clear water.
Mm.
And there was a ladder that went down there. But the source is built on rocks. It's I just feel sad that I can't share it with her. That she doesn't see it.
Okay, I want you to share it right now. I want you to share exactly what you're being impressed right now. I want you to share that and bring it out in words regarding the project that you guys are working on.
The source is me. It feels like I have, endless ideas.
Okay?
And they're built on rock. It's built on a strong foundation. So, I just know that that's where the source is. I'm not sure if I don't know how to explain this. It's
just allow the words to naturally come to you with what it is that you have, that you are.
It's the source, and the same reason that I couldn't share the experience of Hawaii with her when I was there. It was sad, and I feel that it's sad now too, because I can't seem to share with her that I have a firm grasp on the source. I want to be there. I want to be near this. I want to be where the source is.
And can you see the foundation growing beyond the foundation, or are you impressed that it has to stay in the foundation?
It is growing. I just can't share it with her because she doesn't see it, and I feel sad about that.
But okay, Ahava, you're on your
She's not a unicorn.
You're on your unicorn. You're flying around. What are you seeing with regards to the foundation?
I'm waving.
Okay. Can you see Ahava? Do you see Antoinette waving? Yes, you do.
Yeah,
You do.
I do, but it's like what I'm trying to say is I'm not ready to come in yet. There's more fish to bring. I'm gathering fish. Gathering fish.
You're gathering a lot of fish, but
Right.
what's the use of gathering fish if there's no place to take them?
It seems to me right now that the home, the nest, isn't 100% safe. I'm not sure who's guarding the nest. I'm not sure who's going to be teaching at the nest, the little chicks. I feel like that the family, the little chick family, and the big birds, they all have to like kind of. In other words, like it's they need to have their schedules, like understanding, like I don't know how to explain it. Like the father bird flying away, the mother bird stays and watches the chicks. The mother bird's she's going fishing, and the father bird's staying behind. I feel like they're both. I feel like both the birds are tired. Honestly, I feel like that kind of represents me and Antoinette too. That we're both kind of tired because the
Okay.
chicks are still chicks. They're not bringing as much to the nest yet. So
What are you impressed the final structure is going to look like? Not, I want you I want you to answer that from a place of vulnerability and a place from who
I
you
see
are.
the nest. I see the nest with a whole bunch of, not just 2 or even 3 or 4. It's kind of like eagles. They look like bald eagles, but with chicks, right? Like lots of little chicks. But they keep having to go out to bring back food or water or whatever to nourish the little chicks. But there's not enough. He just gave me a scripture. The harvest is huge, the laborers are few. So the birds, the big birds, birds that are feeding all these little chicks are tired. They're just tired they're doing all the flying, all the trying to keep everybody alive, and nobody's sustaining them. There's not enough big birds helping each other. So I feel like it's like I'm seeing the picture of the Last Supper with the 12, right? With the 12 disciples. All of the ministry, all of the people in the foundation of this nest, they all need to be strong, and they're all like, okay, now it just went from birds to Sleeping Beauty. Like all the little, everybody had a name. The seven dwarfs.
Okay.
So now it's like
Dwarfs,
like that, but they all had a job in helping Snow White, right? So all the people that I'm finding or God is bringing in my life, we all have a part in this home, in this foundation. And we're not all the same. We all have different jobs, like Sleepy and Grumpy and all their different little names.
Right.
They're all different jobs, but they all were important in Snow White's awakening, I guess you could say, and her care, and her they all pulled together to save her, from the Wicked Witch. So
And
go ahead.
okay, and Antoinette, is that part of the foundation that you're seeing? Does that resonate with landing in Hawaii on the lava?
Not at all.
Not at all?
Not at all.
Okay.
It is. I don't think she needs me there.
Okay. Where do you need? Where are you being impressed that this foundation grows or moves into? What is this foundation building?
It's building a source of food, sustenance, water, all the basic needs. It's almost like a well that, you have to build a well for water.
Right.
And that's what I think that something like what I'm building needs to have the basics, and then it can go anywhere. I don't see how a nest is anywhere near what I'm doing.
Okay. Is that the landing spot, Ahava, that you're envisioning your flock to be moving towards and being involved with?
the vision, the original vision is to build a site. This is how we met. A place to congregate, to bring the flock. Virtual place to bring them together, but not just virtual, physical, like what we're trying to do. The whole vision was to build a network where people can learn, find each other, meet potential boyfriend or girlfriend or future husband or wife, friendships, study group, learn administrative remedies to manifest everything kingdom minded that's not of the world but as of the kingdom. So when I say I see the not enough, right now there's like 3 or 4 people that are connected with this website. They're teachers, they're good teachers, and they have much insight as to some of the things that need to be fixed. But I believe what I'm seeing is there's only 3, and then you need like 12 or 13, like an assembly, a true white roped assembly. That's why I think I keep seeing white, and white like eagles. They're not chicks, they're eagles that are very well educated, that when I bring them back, when I'm out flying and I'm catching souls, right, and I'm bringing them back to this nest, they have a place. It's like triage. Where do we put them first? If they need food, we have ways to get food. If they need shelter just to be loved on for a little bit, that if they're losing their house and they want to figure out how to remedies to in the system, they have that. But they have covering here. They have like Holy Spirit covering. It's a different jurisdiction. It's like safe. It's not of the world. It's all glowy. It's like white and glowy. It's like everything looks really pretty in Hawaii, and we're sitting up there above stuff in Hawaii looking over, but it's glowy, like almost spiritual. It's a higher resolution or a higher standing than the animals, the things below. But it's their job is to make sure there's order. So I feel like we're getting people to come together in one accord with standing that can make a difference in the world. And that's what the nest is all about. That's what this kingdom on a virtual kingdom was supposed to be from the very beginning. And then a place too that you can put up what's happening in your community and go physically and show up to those things. So you have virtual family.
Okay.
In a twinkling of an eye, you can connect with people, but also physically when you just need that hug.
Okay. So thank you both for speaking about your impression. What I'm being impressed to do now is have God interject and allow God's words to you to do what God wants to do with these 2 visions that you both have, and I want to ask God at this time to just reveal to Antoinette, reveal to Ahava His will, what He wants you to know right now, both of you, with the visions that you have, and where you're being impressed to go with it. Either to bring the 2 together or not bring the 2 together, right? And so I want to ask God to reveal to you both right now His words to you right now with where this is meant to go. And the only ones that are going to know that is you, and as to how you're being impressed. Because you both have been vulnerable and honest to yourself and allowed the essence of who you are regarding this project to reveal themselves and to come forth. And so God, I just ask that you now reveal to Antoinette and Ahava what you want them to know right now? And please let me know what those impressions are.
I got the impression right away, like a spyglass on a big ship. Like there's people out there lost at sea. They're looking for land. They're looking for dry land, desperately trying to find a place to call home. And they're lonely, they're depressed, they're anxiety-ridden, they're fearful, and they don't know who to trust or talk to. So I look at what they're looking for as us, but they haven't been able to find us yet. That's what I'm being impressed with.
Mm-hmm. And Antoinette, what are you being impressed with anything that?
I'm not really sure what it is. It's like a really bright stone, and it's very clear and very precise. And I just need to keep going, be still and listen, and keep going.
Okay.
It's well, I know that I am the source, or I'm near a source that, and I don't even know what kind of source it is. It's just, it's everything I need to do what I want to do. And I feel like if I keep going, I will have everything that anybody needs.
Okay, and are you impressed to keep going on your own, or are you impressed to move forward with Ahava and her strengths that she has regarding this program? Please, whatever you're being impressed is what's right.
I just keep seeing that she is really far away, and that, I don't see how she needs me to help her with what she's doing, because there's nothing to the source of what I'm building is, I don't know how to get it to those people that she keeps bringing. Or it's too.
What exactly does that mean? What do you mean by that?
It's just too much. It's not ready for them. It's not. I need help. I need at least for her to see that what I'm doing has value, and that it's counterproductive to bring so many when she isn't wanting to look and see what I'm doing. It's just, it's a source of sadness. I wish she would. I mean, I know that, these people need to be helped, but there's nothing to give them unless I do it. Unless I keep doing what I'm doing. And it's not like I need somebody to help me do what I do. I just need them to see what I'm doing.
Ahava, does that resonate with you? Does that make? Can you understand what Antoinette means?
See, I feel I do see what she's doing, and I do feel what she's totally capable of. I've seen it before years and years ago, and I see it now. And like I said, if I didn't feel that I trusted her hearing from God with directions and things, like she wants to help people build their platforms here to teach and talk, I wouldn't have brought people or even asked her to do this a second time with me if I didn't trust her on her visions and her artwork and all. But I think I don't know how to express this. It's like, I've seen it before in churches where we had to be in churches and you have to be in a room with a pastor when the church staff isn't really seeing eye to eye, or people aren't feeling appreciated because their gifts are completely different. And everybody, of course, wants their gifts to be completely recognized by the whole church. And I don't think pastors spend enough time trying to work on that, because this happens a lot, not just with us, but with other people.
Are we not all parts of the same body?
Yes, this is what I'm saying. It happens that people want everybody to see through their eyes, like how they see. And if you try to, you can't, if I don't express myself to my husband or to Antoinette or other people the way they want to hear it, sometimes they think they're not appreciated or what have you. So I'm working on trying to edify, give more praise, more appreciation, because sometimes I'm just overwhelmed, pulled in so many directions. So I'm trying to work on that. I feel it would be better for Antoinette, honestly, not to be in Colorado by herself. I think she does need to physically make a move so she has more touch and real people in her life to spend like quiet time alone with, not just working virtually, because I think it's hard for her.
Can we just get back to the and I'm going to say the chasm between the foundation and the riding the bird, right? Mm-hmm. And or the top of the building, if mm-hmm. you like. And is there a way to start to build the building? And I'm impressed to say the word bridge. Is there a way to bridge both sides of the gifts that you have and visions that you have, so that each of you can cross the bridge together and allow the completion of everything to work the way that you both want it to work? Does that make sense? Is that possible? And just allow the Spirit to answer.
I just heard him say all things are possible with God.
Okay. And Antoinette, does that resonate with you?
I see sort of like a flame, and that I think that we just it's the flame represents truth, and I think I would like for to be seen as far as what the truth is, what my truth is.
Okay.
And I think that's the bridge, because I don't want to create I don't need to be recognized. I just need to be I don't need to be given compliments or anything like that. I know it's just beyond that. It's that I am not being asked to do what I do by anyone. And the truth is that if we can meet in the middle, it involves knowing the truth. And I'm not really in my conscious mind yet, so I'm just visually seeing a flame, and that you have to walk through that flame to the other side. And I think we're doing two different things for reasons that don't need to be. I know that what I do is endless. The source is endless because I have enough ideas and the ability to see how to do it. And I don't want to be working for someone or being hired or, I don't need to be recognized that way. I just need to be known for what I'm doing. And if that can somehow work in with, you have to give people, if you're going to be bringing people, you have to have something for them to live on, eat, be, learn. And that's not something that anyone's been doing other than, me. And I want to be autonomous there. I mean, I want to be, that's what I do. That's my area. And that's not for somebody to say it's theirs. It's not for anybody. I don't want to give that. I don't want to give my ideas away. I guess that's what's coming out. And they are mine. So that's sort of me trying to walk through the flame.
Right.
It's a little scary. It's a little scary to do.
Right.
But no one asked me to do this. I'm doing it on my own.
But does that resonate with you? How does that? What are you being impressed by when you hear that?
Then if she's ready to fly on her own, I think she should fly on her own, because that doesn't resonate with what I called her up and said, I have a vision. Do you want to do this with me? And I asked some other people to come in, and they volunteered to help. So I've invested a lot of time, energy, money into this vision, and it is more than the original first time, but it wasn't just so Antoinette can just do her own website. That's where we have a problem. She has her own vision. She wants to do her own thing, but she wants me to bring people, but I have my own vision as well. And I don't even have representation on a site that I've been spending a lot of time bringing the people she's even working with I brought. So when she says, I want to not share my ideas, well, I have a lot of the same ideas that we were working on came from my original ideas. So it becomes like this jealousy competition thing, and we can't work together. So it's either got to get healed or we can't work together, because she's got a very strong center of what she wants to do right now, and that's fine. If you want to be partners, though, you be partners and you cooperate and talk about everything you're going to do before you do it. And if it's just her website, I'll go let her do her thing, and then I'm going to go off and do something else. And it's sad because we could have it all under one house, but we got to figure out how to work that. And there's also the issue, JC, honestly, why I thought, you may really be able to help us with your background, finances has always been a problem because whenever Antoinette,
Are we done with it now?
we're asking him now what to do, how to help us, if he has any suggestions.
Are we done with it?
I don't know. He needs to. We haven't done this before, sweetie, so I don't know.
Antoinette, how does that resonate with you? What Ahava just said.
She didn't understand me and where I'm coming from. I think that, if someone has an idea, it's not theirs to take. But just giving credit where credit is due feels a whole lot better. But it feels like everything that I do, every idea that I come up with, it becomes an idea that you say you had first, and it's yours. And that hurts me so deeply, because I just feel like a slave, kind of. And I don't recall you ever asking me to do this.
That's
for you.
Crazy. I asked you to come because of the assembly, and I said, Antoinette, they really need help. I want to build a new site. Do you want to work on this with me? I can bring Andy and all these other volunteers, and I brought Nikki and Darmadrick and all these people to this beginning of this, and now it's all you. And that's where we have this problem. It just keeps happening, and it's a joint effort. There's no way you would have ever started this on your own if I hadn't called you and asked you to do this, and you know it.
That's true. That's very true. I probably wouldn't have done this. But it was to create a network and a site it's something that I did on my own.
I'm not taking anything away from you as far as being a master web designer and building a network and all. I don't have any of this technology talent. If I did, I'd do it myself. And I think that what you've acknowledged before is...
I can't do this. I can't do this. I'm trying really hard to listen and to say my piece. And I'm scared to death to say what's true for me. I'm scared. Because I know how mad you can get. And I'm trying to be really vulnerable here. And it doesn't feel safe.
Okay. Well, we tried, Antoinette. I'm really sorry that you feel that way because I don't feel safe either. I don't feel safe bringing people without having you guys talk and make decisions without consulting with me. There's a lot that I don't feel safe about too. I've been trying myself because I really love you and I was hoping we could work through this because like you said, it's been not just you, it's been put a ton of time in this. I have to start all over, and I've been not only taking all those classes with Mary and learning all this other stuff to bring back to invest in this site, but all these people from Ryan to all of my friends that JC's met half of them, that we continue to meet, and I'm going to have to go build another site to do the same exact thing I wanted to do from the beginning because we've hit this impasse.
That's your choice.
Okay.
That's your choice. I'm trying to tell you what my obstacle is, and it's not that I don't. I mean, you've just kind of assumed that I'm not willing to work with you. All I did was tell you my truth and how I feel. And so if you don't want to hear that or, understand that, then
I've heard you share that before, but I don't know how to make you feel any safer. I don't know what to do to change this feeling you have about all of this. I don't know how to feel like that we're actually a partnership instead of it's Antoinette's site and I'm bringing people here and it's, I'm just the marketer. That you say you don't want to just be the web designer. I don't want to just be the person who goes and brings all the people because I have ideas and visions of exactly what I want to build and where I want to go to. But it seems like it's always a competition versus trying to edify and uplift each other and be on the same path. It's like I don't know. It gets really weird, and I don't know how. And this is the impasse, JC, that causes a lot of hurt feelings on both our parts. And I don't want that. I don't think she wants that. But unless we can get through how to work through this issue right here, this core issue, then it just becomes that we can't work together.
Well, I'm just, I just feel sad that you can't really understand what I'm trying to say.
I'm literally edifying you. I'm sitting before JC saying, we've had issues in the past, but I thought I would have never called you up and said, "Hey, do you want to try to do this again?" If I didn't think we had already worked through all of that stuff, and we're friends, and that our friendship was more important, and that there's tons of people in the world who can build websites. I came back to you because I wanted to work with you. I wanted the sisterhood relationship that we can be creative and run things by each other. And I'm sorry, Andy takes
What would
it.
help?
Go ahead.
What would help is if once in a while you would say, and this sounds trite, but if you would say this was Antoinette's idea, that would be.
I've done that, Antoinette. I have, about a bunch of stuff that it wasn't my part or idea. I don't think you ever really, it's not like you're receiving. You're not even, when I give you compliments and edify and uplift you, it doesn't ever feel like it's good enough. That's how I feel. It's kind of like there's just this still sadness all the time. No matter what I try to do, I feel like you don't receive it or you don't really believe it. That's how I feel. And then it's frustration because I'm trying to tell you, but you're not receiving it. So it's like,
If you would say it, or on the calls, I've been on calls with you where, you said it was your idea and it wasn't. It's just really simple stuff. After a while, it hurts. That's how I would feel.
well, it's
more
like
a
husband
partner.
and wife. Sometimes you finish each other and you both have the same ideas at the same time. We've been talking about the same vision for 20 years. So it's like, what is yours? What is mine? That's when husbands and they get into a divorce. That's yours. This is mine, because it becomes so enmeshed. And we definitely are enmeshed, and that's okay, as long as it's going for the kingdom. And I just want to just literally make up with the past, figure out how to work with the future, because right here, JC's giving us an opportunity to do something with him and have flow, finances. If he needs more to his website, he needs the other things outside of peaking experiences where we can have the people engage together, be creative, come up with cool things together and fun stuff together. That's where real relationships blossom, is those connections. And that, I think, can be the thing that really makes what JC's already doing awesome. But I think it'll be what he's doing, especially with the financial background and knowing how to set up the financial so there's money coming in for a membership to join. I mean, that was my thinking. But exactly, if he can help us, sometimes you just need mediators that are in God, that are trying to look at the thing objectively and bring you back together for what's God's highest purpose. And that's why I asked JC to see if he could help us, because my heart's desire isn't to just walk away and throw all this away. It's been too many years, and I care about you and Brandon too much, and Mary and Andy too, but I don't have the energy to fight about stuff anymore. I mean, I'm an entrepreneur, I'm a marketer, I'm a promoter, I'm a networker, all of those things, and I want one place to bring those people back to, that I know they've got my back, and there's no talking about each other behind each other's back at all, ever. It's because that's not edifying and uplifting. The Bible, when it says we have aught with each other, we go to each other first. If we can't figure it out, we can ask JC, you want to be the mediator? That would be the second choice. And then you have a mediation through the website. We should be teaching that to all of the students and disciples that come into this program, because that's how you learn how to do it God's way. Just follow the work of what the word says, right? So that's all I'm suggesting. I'm gonna be quiet and let you guys talk.
And I'm impressed to, I'm just impressed to have you both go inside and say to each other where and what and how you're being impressed right now to move this forward in whatever way that you're literally being impressed right now. Antoinette, what are you being impressed right now?
Well, I think there just needs to be a better understanding of not the opposite of enmeshment. Because to, be fully invested or involved in what it is that you are being asked to do, with what I am being asked to do, kind of needs to stand on its own as well as what she is doing, because she's in the air and I'm on the ground.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And that's the essence of exactly where you guys are at. That's the essence of exactly where you guys are at. And so Ahava's flying at 40,000 feet in the blue sky zone, and Antoinette here on the ground, putting the foundation together, as you call it, the lava, right? Both from Hawaii, but moving forward, is there any, please answer this from your heart of hearts, as how you're being impressed right now. Is there, how does it move forward? How does it move forward? One of you at 40,000 feet and another one on the ground. How does it connect, or even does it connect?
Well, I think that if I'm being honest and truthful, to have a reaction shouldn't happen, and vice versa. I think that, that would be, in other words, if we have mutual respect for each other's truth, I think that if that is possible to do, then, it just needs to be fully understood. And, I'm willing to, try and see what that is. I mean, I just don't, when I'm building something so that she can fly, so that everyone can fly. It's just, I need to be supported in doing that.
And what does that support look like?
She knows what she's doing. Let her do it. She is building something that is not in competition. I'm building something that is it's to allow everyone, Ahava, to, be able to do what she's doing. It's not enmeshed, it's two separate things.
Okay, and Ahava, with what Antoinette is building, is that where you feel comfortable to land the people?
Oh, I have no problem bringing people to Andy's class, but so far Andy's is the only class on there. There has to be other people. Hopefully you, JC, if we work this out, will be teaching on here. Ryan will be teaching on here. Some of the other people I'm working with that I've talked to about teaching on a website, like having program times that's scheduled throughout the week that they come on, and I focus on making YouTube channels of talk story, live podcasts throughout the day, all day long, with people in the ministry that we can get people to come to the classes, because I feel like I get most of my leads from making little UB-tubies all by myself or with other friends, kind of just being on my YouTube. And people call me. They call wanting 508s. Lately, I've been talking about what you're doing, JC, and being able to take people through guided meditation into timelessness and God. I'm just using some of your words if they're interested in doing that. So I'm starting to do that. That works for me. What Antoinette and those guys are doing is building teaching courses, right? I can teach this stuff, but there's lots of people who can teach. There's very few people who can do what I can do. Like literally, and I'm not bragging, that's just my wheelhouse. I can go talk to people in a grocery store and come out with 5 phone numbers and call them up and they'll show up at the beach or on one of our shows. I can't do that if I'm spending all my time creating content and courses. That's why I'm trying to find the people who are smarter than I am, who I'm learning from them, and I'm helping them organize their thoughts so they can teach on this network. Because the harvest is huge and the laborers are few. We need more than Andy and Antoinette and Mary to make this website. That's a skeleton crew, and it makes a lot of work for Antoinette by herself because she had to teach all these guys how to work with her. None of them had any techies.
It sounds like it's from. It sounds like a very, very large undertaking, and as I'm being impressed to say right now, you're both, I want to say light years away, but you're not able to provide to each other what you guys both want, right? And it's almost like I'm being spoken to say that you guys aren't even on the same kind of page.
Yeah. That's right. That's how I feel. I do think that it needs to be it needs to be divided up. The focus needs to kind of be on the foundation until it gets set up, until it's ready before all these different ideas come.
And
With each person that you introduce me to, it is a, excuse my language, but it's a shit ton of work. And when I spend hours, days, in front of a computer, and then it's not recognized. It's just hard to keep going that way. I think that there needs to be a little bit more thought and effort put into the structure, the foundation, and I think that's where we were focused. We're trying to get the 508 together, establish how the whole thing is going to run. But you're kind of off and running, and I know it's because you need money, and it's just I think that having people pay for something that's not quite set up yet it doesn't feel right.
no, it's not right. I totally agree with that. I absolutely agree with that. Because put yourself in a person who would be paying it. How would they feel?
Exactly. It's sort of like not right. I do think that a good starting place needs to be established, and then people need to be on board with how, when, and where, and how they can even fit it into their schedule, and then the promotion and the marketing and the flying around, whirling around like that is gonna then it can happen and really work.
And so, how are you being impressed right now with each of you? Please just allow the words to come to you as to how are you being impressed right now with this project, and excluding your friendships, but with this project and how it moves forward?
Well, I think there needs to be a lot of integrity and maybe slow down a bit. Like, an established time to meet. And then, no matter what, you've got to keep that commitment. And, just kind of focus on the foundation.
And Ahava, you're flying at 40,000 feet in the blue sky zone. How does that resonate with you and where you're at and what your mission is as Ahava?
So just like yourself, JC. So you're in the basket. Ryan's in the plane. I've got Cowie in the plane. Joanne in the plane. All these people that want to coach, they want to teach. They've all got their specialty niche, as you know, JC. And what they don't have is is a way for themselves to consistently market to bring people so they have constant leads.
That's the big issue of life.
That's
right
when I answered your ad on Craigslist. I was like, man, I've been labeled psychic, prophetic stuff my whole life. I've done the tarot cards. I've done it all. So I'm going to call and see what this is. This is interesting, right? Then I met Erica. And then, I met you. And the more that you were trying to tell me about, because this has been a big issue. Besides just the creativity and what we wanted to build on the site, finances has been a big issue.
Finances where everything breaks up.
Well, and we never talked about it from the beginning. I mean, it was basically we're all just volunteering to do this because I don't have any money. Antoinette has no money. Andy has no money. Mary has no money. We do have time. So everybody was putting in their time. It was like a time thing, right? But then we run out of money. Antoinette has physical hard expenses that cost the website, right? And we all have bills to pay. There's been times when Antoinette would call and say the dogs are going to eat toilet paper. I have no money to buy food. And I felt guilty, but I never promised I didn't have money to pay a salary to anybody. We've all been sitting on this RV thing for the last 13 years. The global currency is going to change. I have tons of foreign currency that I've just been waiting once I had all my foundations and trusts and everything figured out how to put that money to create flow too, because I was intending, I thoroughly thought this was going to happen too a couple of years ago. And I thought, I can pay the people working on the website like an annual salary that they can sit back and do this and just keep adding and growing the site. But that hasn't manifested. So every time Antoinette would run out of money, I'm hustling, trying to figure out how to, get a couple $100 here and there. Because I really haven't worked so much for cash. I've been working for people. But I realized also what a stress that's been for Kelly, because we've been okay. We've been renting out rooms in our house even to be able for me to stay home and work on all this stuff because it's more important to me than going just to pay bills, But we do need to come up with a way for ministers, for Andy, for Mary, for Antoinette, myself, and other people who are putting this much time and this much energy into trying to manifest a better world and to help people. We need the funds so that we aren't in survival mode all the time. Because I notice that anybody in our group, the little four of us, especially me and Antoinette, either one of us starts banging out like, oh my God, my electric's coming, my water, I can't pay it. The creative flow just stops because we go into
and that is exactly what fear does.
Exactly. So we need to create flow. I can't be held the only one responsible. Again, I kind of always felt guilty, like, I'll go hustle, I'll go figure it out. But, and Andy does work with Antoinette a lot, but I don't think to this date, after all these years, he's ever put any money into this. And another one of our friends who volunteered, in fact, when I had mentioned to her before, once I had funds, I'd pay her. No, I'm just a volunteer. but she's a volunteer who basically is taking ownership because of time that this is hers. Like I felt like I couldn't even voice what I was trying to manifest through all of this because everybody else is like, it's not your site, Ahava. Okay, well, you guys do it yourselves then. That's where I was starting to feel, because I'm out trying to get content and find other people that can make the site like really exciting, including you, JC, because we need finances and we need somebody who can help us honestly over this hump. And I thought maybe that might be, you, because you need to expand out, and Antoinette can build it. What's that Field of Dreams? If you build it, they will come. I mean, if we can get some more flow going through so Antoinette can have more people to help her financially as well as physically help her with putting the site together. I told her I'll start bringing all these people back. We'll set up rooms for them to teach. We'll have open, chat rooms where they can all, because they love getting together on the WebExes. Sometimes my WebExes are 10, 15 people. Sometimes they're 4 or 5 people. But it's where you learn all the stuff. It's their iron sharpening iron. And when they go away from each other, they're working on processes and stuff, and then they come back and share. And that's how they get closer too. So I really want to see a lot more of that on the website than just courses. Courses can teach you stuff and how to fill out paperwork, but it doesn't bring you closer friendships and a lot more love yet in your life. So I yield.
Well, what I'm being impressed to say is this is a colossal undertaking that you guys have involved yourself with and began, and I'm just sensing just this huge chasm between where you're both at and where you're both have a vision as to where it's going to go. Does that make sense?
Yeah. It's not that. It is a colossal project, but I have worked on bigger ones. I did have money coming in, and I had, I wasn't doing it alone, but it was my idea, it was my concept.
Right.
I kind of know everything that has to be done. Plus, I am just really good at technology. Mm-hmm. I have a sense of, what's going to work, and I know how to find it. And then I think about it and study it, and I do it. So.
And the key element is you have to be able to emotionally touch who your end user client is going to be, right?
Yeah.
Before they're going to be able to open up their pocket, and now with the fear and chaos that is being created as this crash and burn world is happening, I'm impressed to say to tell you that it's a completely different world out there now. It's a completely different world out there, and it's only going to get worse as every day goes by. And so I'm sensing that the lack is obviously monetarily here to allow Ahava flying at 40,000 feet and Antoinette in the lava of the Big Island, for you guys to meet and build that Empire State Building, and not only that, but have the marketing element still has to be your major component of finishing the idea, right? Allowing it to come to fruition and monetize itself, right? And so I'm just being impressed that there's a lot of challenges that lie ahead with this project. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I have been working on those, and I'm pretty up on, what the challenges are, and I can sense what's actually going on, especially, with people that are feeling like they have to act out like children and go key somebody's car. It is, spending 40 years in television news will sort of give you a pretty good sniffer for that kind of stuff. At the same time, I know that the only answer is to go back to scripture and to ground yourself in God's word and
She needs energy.
what you're
She needs to
hearing
get
from
energy.
the Holy Spirit. And it's not about money, but money would definitely help us feel like we're getting somewhere. And I think that's just the fruits of the labor. But at the same time, I have, that, Ahava and I have stopped working together since November. During that time, I have, shown myself how to, or I've taught myself how to open, create stores and open them and, receive lawful money for it. And, I'm studying on how to structure a trust and all that kind of stuff. Just sort of doing that on my own. But I mean, I've got like 4 stores now, and they have nothing to do with it. They're just something that I know how to do. I've written over 30 books. I put 30 books together, and they're actually selling, so that's kind of a good thing. It is, it's kind of a good thing to know that somebody's interested in what you've done. It is all preparing for, what if we are able to put this together. And so that was a hurdle that I needed to. It just gave me the time. This downtime gave me the time to learn all that. So that is part of what needs to be a concrete element to what people are doing, what these presentations are going to be. I mean, I can do animation, I can do a slideshow, I can do videos, I can do short videos. I can put them up on every social site out there, writing newsletters and all that kind of stuff, learning how to something any kind of marketing,
Sorry?
I think, is what would prove to people to be valuable and want to, at least feel secure about being on, presenting on this website. Because that's what I would want. There's people that, they want to be spoon-fed stuff, and they want to be, they'll just pay somebody money and ask them to do it. And then there's people that need to know everything. And they have to know that that there's proof out there that this really is real, and where is that proof, and where can I read that proof? And they'll want to have some sort of downloadable PDF or a book that they can follow while they're learning. There's all kinds of ways that people are going to want to learn, and there's all kinds of things that people can take advantage of that want to teach. If they want to have like a short video after they've given an introduction of what they do, then that short video is put out everywhere and with a sign-up sheet, that
Right.
kind of stuff. I had
Right.
to teach myself how to do all of that.
Right. And who is your right fit client?
Who is what?
Who is your right fit client?
The right fit client.
Who is it that you're targeting?
It is people that know a little bit, and all the way up to people that know quite a bit about how to be a private sovereign, how to live in the private. For instance, there's a whole lot of people out there now that are just simply claiming lawful money. But if they want to, those are the people that, would definitely want to come here, because you can claim lawful money, but then you can also put it in a trust, or you can, there's lots of different situations in receiving, paying, writing a check, opening a bank account. There's lots of different elements to learning about lawful money. And there's a course that I took to learn about it that is pretty extensive.
So it's about freeing a person.
People that know a little bit about common law, about living in the private, maybe getting a land patent. They're at least their interest is piqued, and they have done the work to learn about it. The issue is there's no one place to learn about it, and even if you do, it might just be some sensational thing that somebody's put on the internet, and they don't really know about it either. So we've taken the extra work here to take a deep dive into absolutely everything that we would put on the site, and it takes dedication. You have to meet, and we have paperwork. We've got everybody knows where to look stuff up, and then I put it together. And I do the same thing. I mean, I'm studying constantly, and it's not just for me, but the goal is to have an issue and know where to find the answer to it. And there's a lot of people that they know just a little bit, but they don't know enough to really do it. And that, I would say, that's our audience.
Right.
Well, I mean, I suppose we could talk to people that know absolutely nothing, but that's a tough one.
Well,
there's a reason they don't know, and usually it's because they don't want to.
Right. Absolutely. So, well, I'm just impressed to say that it's a colossal undertaking, and I see a real. You guys both have a real chasm, even from when we both started, from playing together as children and flying at 40,000 feet to building the foundation, and that's just what I'm impressed, and as I'm being impressed, only you guys know if it's how it's gonna mesh or join together, or even if it's gonna join together. The only one that knows that is
JC,
you.
let me ask you something. Could you, with your program, do you see it any way, shape, or form fitting in any of what we're doing here or trying to accomplish?
Are you asking me?
Yes, you. Just individually for what you're trying to accomplish. Is this stuff... Because remember when I said to you, like, knowing all this stuff, I feel like no matter how many timeless, weightless experiences we take people, and they can be blissed out all day long, but if they have to go back and they still are not making the changes because they're going back to their other job, just in the, they're not creating this stuff on earth. They're just
Right.
so by adding in the information we're teaching them, they can slowly start exiting from the matrix while they're becoming really creative in timelessness. So what in heck is their mission here? What are they supposed to do? But I believe that they're, by hooking up with the other people that will come to the network because they're like-minded, they're going to find new friends. They're going to find their partners. They're going to find what they're looking for to go create life that they're trying to do in timelessness, right? With the people right here, right now in 3D. But you can't, but that's where I kind of get stuck because, like I said, I hear it all the time out there pastoring with people.
Remember that my project, my reason for coming back was to have 144,000 people on the planet literally become the divine totality of everything that God is through being vulnerable, through being true to themselves and allowing the emotional portal of God to be open. And as of January 1, 2025, I wasn't allowed to begin my outreach component of my project, right? I've done over 20,000 sessions with over 1,000 people over the last 29 years almost. But since, and just through Craigslist, since the outreach element of it with that simple ad, Ahava, that you answered, I've grown from 6 coaches to almost 70 now in 2 months, right? And the beauty of it is everyone is syncing together as one, right? Understanding that this is the Spirit of God that for the very first time is being revealed, and as Revelation 21:5 says, and God says, "Behold, I'm making everything new," right? So that's where the answer to your question lies. Am I impressed that what you guys are doing is going to help make people new? I'd say that yes, but it has to all come through God. God is the one that is leading it and going to bring it forth the way that He does. So that the very last verse of the Bible, the grace of the Lord Jesus be with all, and the grace means the eternal everythingness of Lord Jesus be with all, and that eternal everything is what God is, which is that euphoria, that love and abundance, and so that's, I know, is my mission for coming back, and also connecting that very last verse of the Bible with the first 5 verses of the Bible, where in the beginning there was darkness and then there was light, right? What God is doing in timelessness is He's birthing Himself within His female womb, and Himself is literally Jesus, the divine Jesus, of which our universe is one universe, and trillions of universes that make up the multiverse body, or that Jesus is. And where does Jesus birth Himself? He's birthed, and I saw this literally back into Eden with the two trees of life in there, as Revelation 22 says. And when Jesus opens His eyes, who is it that opens His eyes? Well, it's you and everyone else that has become Jesus. And the light element of Genesis happens because when Jesus opens His eyes, as you in Eden, there is no darkness anymore. Lucifer doesn't exist anymore. It's only God, and everyone that who's ever lived from that darkness period of the Garden of Eden until now literally comes back. But we don't have any darkness. There's no darkness. There's light, and that's the instantaneous super consciousness of the consciousness of God, the male element of God, and what has been created, and so that's the macro picture. So where does what you're doing fit in there? I don't have the answer to that. I don't know. It would be on an individual basis for sure, but I know that my mission, my reason for coming back, is to stay in that zone, allowing people to Connect with God through his emotional portal. That's the hotline to God. That's the hotline to God, and that's how he can answer. But he only answers those that are vulnerable. Or as Jesus said in Matthew 5:5, and the meek shall inherit the earth. Why are people meek? Because they are vulnerable and honest with themselves, and that's who God speaks to. And so, where does what you're doing fit in with that? I have no idea, other than to know that it will fit into at the place it's supposed to fit in at, right? And so.
Well, I was going to ask you because, if it does or doesn't, I'm not sure yet either. You got to pray about it. And Antoinette, I guess, got to pray. But I was thinking, like, you could create. So you have your Infinite Intelligence Institute, which is already set up, but you could start something new. We could start something new with, like, at this point, we either have to make a breakthrough. It's like Antoinette said, I feel like I don't want to waste all this time and energy that everybody's put into, not just her, but myself, Andy, Mary, and all the other people who helped too, because it was a God idea. And it's like, if we want to just give it to him, if we set it up as a 508, it can be, we can slightly change or keep the same name that it has, because that's what God said, call it, thy kingdom come. Because where are you going to put all the souls once they come out of Babylon and out of the wrong jurisdiction that we're all in? They have to be registered somewhere. The Bible says they're going to be in the book of life. Now, my friend,
that's exactly right. That's exactly right. The book of life.
Antoinette knows I've been talking about this forever. So, like, if she can focus on the website, but we have funding, and so she doesn't have to call me all freaked out about the dogs eating toilet paper, and then I don't have to go into like, oh my God, I got to solve that immediately, because then we both become neurotic, and we can't be.
Absolutely. You're living in fear at that time.
Yes, exactly. And this is like, Satan has had us. It's a miracle we're still here. And that's also like, sometimes when you're right over the target, you know what I'm saying? You get hit the hardest. And he also, we end up having thorns. It says in the Bible, we have thorns in our side. And in the end, it would be the hardest with our very family members, the people we love the most, we'd have the hardest time with, because we're all like programmed in our own way of thinking, which is not necessarily godly, it's worldly, but it's what we...
Well, that's where everybody is at, because they've lived in their outside mindset.
Yes. So the whole point, we've been talking about, so what I told you before about the Ho'oponopono. Ho'oponopono is like 4 steps. It's really super simple. It's I love you, I'm sorry, please forgive me, thank you. But it's like a mantra. You have to keep doing it over and over and make eye contact and hold them. They do that forehead kissing here in Hawaii, but if you were in a space, like a sacred space, which this I can see with what Antoinette was getting, right? Because I've been saying the same thing. We've got, yourself, JC, I told you I've got 2 friends right now that literally call me every week and ask me when we're going to put the retreat together on the big island. And I'm sure there's a lava rock right there for Antoinette. But it's a retreat where people can come to, that we put on. And JC, you're the keynote main speaker. And we start with peaking and getting them to journal. Antoinette can have all her journals for the journey. I call them journals for the journey, because it is a journey. If you really want to change, it's gonna be painful. This is exactly what we talked about at church today at the beach. And I had 4 young surfer dudes come up to us just because they could hear it, like they were sitting on the sand below us. And they came up and they're like, wow, like, what religion are you guys? We're like, we're not a religion, and we just follow the scriptures and follow the Most High. We do the best we can. And they're like, wow, we love the vibe, we love the music, we love you guys, we're coming back. So that is what I specialize in, is doing social and meeting people out and about. But I need a place to take them to. That, like, I can talk to them, I can set up chat rooms, I can, like, connect with my people like I am now. But it's more not about courses, it's about connecting with the people. I'm like the buffer. once I can connect with them, just like what I'm doing with CPS Jenny here. And it's taken a long time because that child is traumatized. And it's hard. I mean, I just have to keep asking, like you're telling us to go through the PK. I'm doing it all day long, asking God, and he has to show up and show me little symbols of how do I be the most effective, loving person, but not enabler, but like get her tough love, but not to bend her over the edge because she's so traumatized and fragile. If I say the wrong thing, she's in tears, and it just breaks my heart, because that's not my intention. And it's the same thing with Antoinette. Sometimes I go into general commando and I don't mean to be like that, but I feel like I'm responsible for a lot of people, and it's a lot of pressure, and I know you must feel like that sometimes, JC. So
yeah, I do, absolutely.
And sometimes having a place that you can just go, it's like Pastor Rob, Antoinette knows, one of my favorite pastors. He's a military guy. He's freaking tough as nails. But he told me, after 20 some years, I've been really close friends with him. And he's married, and we used to be way closer, like brother and sister, talked 4 or 5 times a day. But once he got married, his wife is way younger, and she's super jealous of me. She just wants him undivided attention. She's like one of those kind of people, very insecure. So I just had to deal with it. I lost kind of my best friend, but we're still friends. I just don't have him on speed dial that I get to talk to him that often, maybe a couple times a week rather than a couple times a day. And that's okay. Because then Maury came into my life and started teaching me all this law stuff. You know what I'm saying? So what we need to do, I think, as a collective, is we need to figure out the money thing for all of us and for all the people out there. Because they've tried everything, every network marketing thing under the sun. They've all tried, hoping and praying that somehow was going to supplement their job, just over broke job they have. But all those jobs are going away anyway. Right? It's all going to be replaced with AI and everything. So what do we have left? The only thing we do have left is each other. And
He's God.
Well,
He's God.
God showing up inside of each other, because we're all God. Like you said, we're all becoming Jesus. So we need to see, this is where Aaron, even though Antoinette knows Aaron too, even though Aaron can be a handful, I love Aaron. He's one of the most passionate people I've ever met. Sometimes I just don't, either I don't get it, or he just overwhelms me, or his presentation isn't I can't market that yet. But I don't give up on Aaron, because I know God loves Aaron. You know what I mean? Even if his doctrine, I'm completely confused and thinking he's not on the right page right now. My husband tells me all the time, why do you even talk to these people? And I said, because he died on a cross so we could all be saved. It says right in the word, he wants every single knee to take a bow and to worship him, not the fake de facto fiction thing that's going on. But we have to heal. So I want to be a part of massive Ho'oponopono, getting them to the party. Aaron calls them wedding parties, or Bride of Christ. I call it Bride of Christ makeover, whatever. Because I can talk religion and I can talk New Age, but the reality is I know I can reach those people and get them. But it's the same thing. I don't want to be teaching all of these different things. I just want to have Think and Grow Rich, Napoleon Hill. He said, you don't have to be the best at everything. Just surround yourself with excellence and people that you know will do the best job. Andy teaches impeccably. There's nobody better that can put the website to do a network to present this stuff than Antoinette. She just needs help. It's too much. But it's not my wheelhouse. I mean, I can talk to her, we can talk ideas all day, but we need people to execute and help her get the techie stuff done that I cannot do. And it also takes me away from time out talking to people, networking with people, and bringing people to the party that we need funding. So in the past, it's either been advertising through the directory on the website, which is still a way, if we market it, we can bring money into the website. But what I really like the idea is this is a private membership. It is a 508 ministry. It is a community. It's self-funded. It's like a membership. It has membership dues, and this is what it is. So what it includes would be everything you're doing, JC, but more. And then we can have the basics. Just start off with what you're charging and how you set it up. But then if we add in all these other things, they can purchase that stuff too. So the goal is all the people who are teachers, meaning why I was trying to groom Ryan and all these other people, because they're really good with people on the phone. People like them. They like being on their WebEx for hours, they'll stay on there talking to each other. But if we have specific goals, specific documents that we know work, that we're walking them through them, that's where Antoinette's wheelhouse, and we can like basically use her skills to get all their documents done. But it takes everybody. We need money, that's you, JC. We need a marketer, promoter, that's me, and we need a web designer who can put it all together so that the courses are there and the things that they need and all the different little pukas. I call them pukas, it's a Hawaiian word, but it's like the different, ministries within the ministry. And the whole goal is to make every single one of our people their own 508, because that puts them in that private kingdom jurisdiction. So the covering is the master ministry, the 508. That's like the roof. And then putting the main core people, we're up in the attic, we're like the guardians, or I think that's when I saw the eagles, like the 12 eagles. That's like the disciples. That's like the ones who, you said 144, JC. So 12 times 12 is 144, correct?
Right.
So if we have 12 teachers, you're a teacher, Andy's a teacher.
I don't disagree with anything that
I'm just
you're
sharing.
saying.
This is just the vision he's given me, so I'm just sharing. But you guys go ahead and just shoot one.
Like I have a time frame, right? I have 7 years. God will be revealing Himself for the very first time, the Holy Spirit, Christ consciousness, for the very first time as of January 1, 2025. Okay, that's when in time it's just the cosmic trial defense has begun presenting its case. And when 144,000 people literally become the divine, that's when the Luciferian energy is over with. That's when fear and chaos is over with. That's where the central banks, the governments, artificial intelligence, everything is done. And that's when our universe, which is the first cell of the divine body of Christ, that's when time becomes part of timelessness again. Right now, time is only a simulation within timelessness. It's not part of timelessness, right? And so I don't disagree with anything that you're saying, Ahava. It's just that I know personally my mandate is to have 144,000 people before December 31st, 2031. And so, to have 70 already is incredible. And again, just the rolling out, the simple rollout of the God, dare I say the word, business model that has been provided to me, that it would happen within a year, right? And so that's where I am personally at. That's where that's why I came back. And so ever since I've come back, I've only lived in that portal of God. And so I know that's what my vision is. That's what my purpose is. That's what is meant to happen to humanity. And God will reveal His element of abundance, which is not only personal abundance but financial abundance. And so again, that's what the project does. Is to reveal that element of financial abundance, because that's the link that everyone needs now as the world is falling apart, right? Where everything is going right now is war and a 50, 60, 80% depopulation to try it all again, because the monetary matrix that's in place now doesn't work. The house of cards is completely falling apart. And so that's what people will be making the choice about through their mindset, either their inside mindset or their outside mindset. And the brain's nothing more than a receiver, right? Like I see every day where everyone is at, like within this simulation, where they're at. Everyone is trapped. Everyone is totally trapped right now. And so
well, what do you mean by you having 144,000? What does that mean?
That means when 144,000 people reach a certain level, and there's a flow of the coaching that we do that allows them to move. They have their 10th dimensional at one moment where Their minds are literally synced up with God. Their ego chip is removed, and then the 11th dimension of reverse velocity happens that literally perfects individuals into the totality of everything that God is, to make them timeless, right? And so that's what the 144,000 will become, right? And so and the same 144,000 who already do this have already done it before in a society that happened long before Eden. And so
I would like to do that. That sounds good to me.
that's what my project is. That's why I came back, Antoinette. That's what this is all about, right? And so I don't know. So many people ask me about do you know so and so? Do you know so and so? And I don't, because I just stayed in this vertical zone for the last almost 29 years. That's where I've lived.
You know what? They ask if you know what?
Well, many times people say, "Do you know so and so? Do you know so and so that he wrote this book?" And I'm like, "No, I don't." The most common one I get, I actually do know, and it's Joe Dispenza. Joe and I used to speak together, but other than Joe, I really don't know too many other. Like, I know Joe's story very well, but I just don't know. Because I've stayed in this vertical zone, I'm not. I don't mean to be arrogant or brag here, but I know that I am timeless. I know that I am timeless. I know physically I am timeless. I know that from a health perspective, from a fitness perspective, from a consciousness perspective, from a connection perspective, as what I experienced during my circumstance, that's just who I am. And it's so rewarding to see so many other people within the small group that I have of 70 people now experiencing it themselves. If it be Candace, who Ahava, she came to Cal. She was at the Big Island last week, or even Layla, who's my has been my assistant for the last year, who's the most incredibly gifted. She's in Denver as well, Antoinette. The most incredibly gifted content creator, very young girl, but just an angel, just an absolute angel, and to see these people growing more into the totality of everything that God is just so rewarding, and that's why I came back. That is what my project is, and that's so Ahava. I don't know the answer to your question, or maybe I do know the answer to the question. I don't want to say it, but absolutely, I agree everything with what you're at and what you've discovered. But I just have to stay focused on my project.
And let me ask you something, JC. Antoinette, from everything that JC just shared, did you get any picture visions or anything of how we could morph what we already have? Let me go crazy marketing and kind of bring JC in beside Andy as the two teachers for right now on the website, but really focus on JC, because JC is like more of a evangelist, I guess you could say, as far as the fivefold ministry. I was telling JC when do what?
I said, excuse me, I sneezed.
Oh, bless you. When I first met you, I just listening to you, I'm like, well, with everything you know, you can walk in the fivefold ministry of an apostle, because you know, like, how to run a ministry, basically from the financial business side of running a ministry, right? Antoinette and I are still working on that. I can run a social club. I can bring the people. I can get the people there, but I have to keep them there. That's why I used to like say to Rob, I'll bring them, you clean them up, because I didn't want to be the one to have to be the good cop and the bad cop, because he'd have to sit there and give them the dad look and make everybody sit down and stop socializing for a minute to listen, or whatever he was trying to teach, right? But then, like, I could keep bringing them back, so it worked out really well. I mean, it was a really good flow. If we can create a synergy where Antoinette can use her skills to build you a platform, JC, to rebrand you, relaunch you. But we have this backup of not just the spiritual, supernatural side. We have the practical side of how to correct your old self, dead self, and become born again with your new freedom.
Well, it makes total sense. It absolutely makes total sense.
Ask her how long I've been saying, Antoinette, we need to we live in Hawaii. Talk about fun. We could have all these people come here for a transformation vacation package, go do the retreat, do the water baptism, and start their legal paperwork to transform their whole entire status. And now, like, they really do go home, not just a nice experience, but literally made completely new mind, body, spirit.
They would be new in every aspect.
That's the whole. Now you understand why I said
no,
to you
no,
when
no.
I
I
met
always
you.
did understand.
Yeah, it was like, wow, man, if we marry this.
There's one little wrinkle that that concerns me. Concerns me personally. And that's your government, and what they're doing, and so
not just our government. It's like the whole world's getting.
No, it is the whole world, but I know of a person. She's one of my coaches, and a very, very successful individual, and because she had an LLC in the States, as I do. Every time she used to go into the States, she would be interrogated for 6 hours, right? And this wasn't with Trump. This was before, with administrations before that. And it wasn't until she got rid of her LLC that they were allowed to let her come in. And so that's a personal concern of mine.
Let's get rid of
I don't want to be sent to a prison in El Salvador and never hear from you again.
No, sweetie. Right? I think we should first of all, we've talked about this. You're doing ascension coaching for heaven.
Exactly.
So why don't we get rid of the LLC and do this? Why would you want to do this as a business when we can do it as a ministry?
Well, because I'm so far down the road here. I'm so far down the road.
No, but you cannot, you don't have to quit the road. You could just get on another path. It's like, oh, I'm on the wrong path. Like everybody else, I was in the wrong jurisdiction. It's part of your coaching. And when you learned, you can direct people over to TKC because now, God, the Most High showed up by us meeting in this synchronistic time and space. That Antoinette built you this amazing site that now you could just fit right into and just pick up. You don't even have to do anything.
Well, I know Antoinette could do that, but you guys have just talked about financial issues and stuff, which is very, very real. I've spent all of my money in this project. I've put over $3 million.
We don't have to. We can go sell memberships literally just off your name, and we could write a book or do a podcast. And
books. I've written a dozen books. I don't want to.
Okay, let's just do a podcast and then have a membership. JC, I'll take.
It's all about touching people.
I understand that, and that's my favorite part, and I'm good at it. And I grossed $500,000 with my mom. She's still alive. You can ask her. The first year we did Social Club in San Francisco, all I did was throw parties, and I was a really good hostess.
Right, and that's what people want. But also people. What's going on out there with the masses right now is survival. It's all about survival. And survival is only going to get tougher and tougher every day. You're reading about layoffs happening. It could be in the government.
It's a whole lot easier. Whoa, JC. If it's all about survival, I already talked to like 10 grandmas over here about Kapuna care. And at first we were the young people wanting to take care of the older people. But I asked them, I said, man, you guys are ones with all the skills. This lady, Sandy, who lives at my house, she's 79. She drives Uber. She's like so freaked out because she said now that in Texas, I guess in one other state, all the Uber drivers got fired because now they're all they're driving themselves cars. So their jobs are going away. And she comes home telling me all these stories of how cold everybody is. And she told me, she said, you're like the first nice person I have met in 11 months being on Oahu. I cried myself to sleep every day. And she's like, I can't believe how nice all your friends are. So we need to we need to come together like a social club for heaven. And I'll go out. I even may drive Uber, to tell you the truth, because she just keeps telling me you should drive Uber while you still can, because you do really well. But it's the marketing. She talks to people all day long. And I told her I'll make cards, and then you send me the people. I'll take them on tours to the beach, get them involved in all this stuff. And she's like, oh, that's a great idea. We should be targeting Uber drivers. They can help us. But we got to just come up with...
But I'm sure they can help us, but they have no money.
They're driving Uber, and then if they join your network by everybody, like say it's a membership, right? It's a membership. It's a private membership club. You have to pay a membership to join.
Well, that's what the $129 a month is now. It is membership.
Right, but JC,
it is a membership.
Right.
And so that.
Have you, by the way, have you explained any of the financial anything yet to Antoinette, or is she completely out?
No.
Oh,
no.
If you don't, if
we just did a peeking the other day, but.
Well,
the model that infinite intelligence is was the model that God gave me, but if. And I don't even know if this has been successful tonight. What we started out doing, because we got where we are right now, which wasn't really in the spirit as long as I would have hoped to. So, but if a joint peaking is possible, and I was impressed to start it off the way that I did with leading you guys all the way to the deep breathing, and then taking you guys each individually up to the crown, and then taking it from there and jointly. Like just seeing if it would mesh, which it did. It started like it. If you remember back, Antoinette, the grounding, Hawaii, the lava, Aloha. You're on your white horse to 40,000 feet, right? This is exactly who you guys are, right? And so I was really impressed with that. But think about God to be able to work in all marriages, like with people who are vulnerable, with people who are being honest to themselves and allowing their vision to come forth. Because there was a while at the beginning here where you guys were just feeding off of each other's what you were seeing, right? And that's how I was impressed this was going to work. That the two the two visions that you've been given come together and work together as one, right? And so.
Well, unicorn is one accord. He only has one horn, right? So he's like a uni one, and you know the word accord is like a corn, like a unicorn.
Right.
So anyway, it's all of us just working. To me, it represents like Gandalf in the what's that, the Hobbit or something, or. It's like the most high consciousness that we're coming together in Him.
Well, and that is when the inside mindset of euphoria, love, and abundance through like intuition, stuff like that. But when we take the unconscious mind in spirit out, God is revealing the highest frequency of consciousness possible, messaging into our brains, right? Which is the opposite of the lowest vibration that the outside mindset is bringing in.
So, I mean, like, I'm just seeing, like, right now, making the website, when people come there, they feel like they're in heaven on earth. Like, they built metaverse, right? Facebook is building metaverse. The word meta itself means death.
I would love to see that as well, Ahava, but I understand everything that Antoinette's doing, and I don't even want to begin to understand how you do it, but I just want to praise you for being able to do that. That's going to take time. That's going to take money. And
well, if we could do memberships, if you could show up like Andy does, and we can have set classes where you're publicly speaking again, you can make a podcast.
But that's going to take me away from my project that I'm doing now, which is 160 hours a week. 160 hours a week that I'm focusing on. That's what you might say
well,
that.
She might be able to help you with the training somehow too. I'm not really sure, but.
It is a possibility, but please appreciate what my role in this whole thing is. This is why I was sent back, right? I was sent back, and I've been on this pattern, on this flow, knowing it was going to be taking off the way it has for 28 years. I knew I couldn't do the outreach element until January 1 of this year, right?
So,
I knew that.
So how do you envision, Antoinette, being able to help you with this vision coming forward?
Well, first of all, you guys got to do what you know is right for you, right? And when we started off here, we were talking about the project that you guys were working on, right? So I don't want you to move away from that, right? Ahava, you and I are doing that, right? Like you're going to be taking the training starting on Monday with Cynthia, and so that's a division that has just come out of nowhere, right? In the last 3 weeks, we've had 3 classes now, and I think in the last 3 classes, I'm going to have like 20 new coaches that are coming. And like this thing is just exploding for me, right? And I've still got to make my back end, which I'm doing with a group in India, and it's costing me a whole lot of money. But it's still 3 months away before I have the replicated websites done, before I have the business office in place for everybody that they can use on their phone as well as their laptop, right? So, you know, I know where my project is going, and I know what it's going to do, and I know that it's getting closer and closer every day to its tipping point. Like I think I had like 8 or 9 or 10 new coaches committed in the last 2 days to take the next program. Now they're not all in yet. I'm starting to get the money and the contracts in, but I'm sure that most of them will be there. But it's all, we have to eliminate fear. Like fear is killing humanity. It's literally killing humanity. And
I totally agree with that part. Totally agree.
I got the most terrible news that I could have ever received yesterday. And that's this. My ex-wife, who we were married for 20 years, and we never fought once. We're still great friends. Well, she told me yesterday that she had a radical hysterectomy, and she's got stage 4 cancer now. It's in her lymph nodes, and so, you know, that was a shock to me, right? And so I don't know even why I said that, but that's just what happened yesterday, and I know why I said it, because she was one of the most fearful people that I've ever known. She's Chinese. Nothing against the Chinese culture at all, but they have a completely different mindset, and she just never ever was able to get out of fear, and I'm sure that had a very, very vital role, and because she's much younger than I am, and I know that had a vital role in where it has brought her, right, and so. That fear is what is going to only be increasing in people day by day by day. And it just pains me every night when I go to sleep to just know how much more that fear is ratcheting up in people, right? And that's what has to be broken. People have to, this is where everybody has to get to. People have to get to the point where they've had enough pain, right? That's it. It's that simple. Have you had enough pain yet? No, well, you know, enjoy your life until you do, right? That's where my project is at, and many people are feeling that pain because of the financial limitations that they had. That's the first I've heard that. So Texas so now all the Uber drivers in Texas are just machines.
That's what she told me, and she goes, it's going to be coming to Hawaii. It's
going. It'll be going everywhere. I know. I knew about 10, 12 years ago when I was in New York City. There were test cabs that were without a driver. I'm seeing this. I'm like, what? Yeah, AI is all about making it more convenient for the elitists that are stealing away the whole world, right? And the nice thing that I can say that is happening though, since COVID 2019, when Lucifer stopped presenting his case to to the patriarch of the lead family that owns the central banks, is that his case is now over, and he is not allowing he's not able to communicate again with the central bankers. But on the other hand, what the central bankers are just absolutely infighting with them itself for power, right? And that's only going to get worse, right? They don't have any direction from the dark horse like they've always had, and so that's what we're up against. That's what I go to bed every night, knowing what is happening, right? And wanting to be able to get my messaging of this project out there, which is happening more and more, right? And so there's a lot of things behind the scenes that I am funding to make that happen. But I'm just funding I'm just doing everything to be able to help what my mission is, and so that humanity can wake up. I know it'll reach a tipping point, and I know that tipping point because of the, I don't want to say stupidity, but the way the way the world has been numbed down to having no mind. That is going to have to happen through social media and stories of people, right? And Layla, my content creator, she's just magic when it comes to creating videos herself, and she's just a very, very young girl, but just she's an angel. She's just an angel, and
maybe
so
her and Antoinette could work together and have like a little network crew, you know?
well, you know, absolutely, but Antoinette, you don't know this. I know Ahava does, but I've done all of this on my own nickel, right? I don't have any debt. I don't have any partners, right? And so I know that I need funding now, because as every month goes by, I'm fortunately I have a pension to cover my personal expenses, so I have no problem because of my pension that I have to cover my basic expenses, and so I'm fine. So I don't have to worry about anything. But this project is moving so quickly, and I need to cover all the expenses of it, right? And it's getting to the point where it's getting tougher and tougher. You think that, oh, you've got more people, that means more profit. Well, it's not that way when you're the one bankrolling it, and you know you've used up everything to get it to this point, right? I need to have. I need an investor in here, right? To be able to, I don't know, if it's $1,500,000, it doesn't matter, but to be able to take it to that next level. Yes, I have a very strong cash flow on a monthly basis, and yes, it's a positive cash flow on a monthly basis, which is really unheard of for a business that's only been operating for 2 months. But that's what God wanted to see have happen, and so that's. Once that need is in place, this whole thing is just going to explode, because it's going to allow me to maybe make a new website, to be on social media, and not be able to be doing it on the shoestring budget that I'm on now. And so, as I said, the beauty of it is I don't have any debt, I don't have any partners, and the only partner I have is God, and listening to God and allowing Him to lead, and I know that's going to happen, that the investors will come forth at the time that they're supposed to, and I know it's going to be very soon as well.
Awesome.
So that's where I'm at.
Antoinette, do you have any impressions or things you want to?
I think, like I told you last time, it'd be great to get to know you a little bit more, and I think, I might be interested in doing this to see where it leads for me. All I know is that when I go there, it's like, beta. It's like being a beta wave,
Right. Yeah, you had a very, very profound session the other day.
Yeah, this one was good too. It just, I could tell when the energy shifts, and so it was a little bit difficult to maintain. But I think that the more that people do this and that they can probably do it on their own without coaching. I think there's definitely a room for coaching, especially if people don't have any kind of vantage point or
Well, and remember, it's direct coaching from God, right? Like God is providing you the words, right? Like he's giving you His message.
Well, sure, everything is. It is the shift when you move away from that beta is a little bit harder to maintain with two people. But what I'm trying to say is, I think the better you get on a one-on-one, the easier it's going to be to do in a group or with someone else.
Right, right.
But yeah, I can definitely feel the shift. And it's when you go, or someone, the other person goes into, well, do you know anything about, yeah, I'm sure you do know about the emotional tone scale. It's like a cyclone of emotions that you pass through. And so when you're at the top, you're basically in love, and then moving down scale, you could feel it's a different feeling.
Mm-hmm. It's heavier, yeah.
Rough, and it's kind of clunky, and it's heavier, and that's like you could sense that in people's words.
Mm-hmm.
So that's my feedback from this tonight, and I would definitely, there are people that are, I think you can tell as a coach that people are more comfortable in their comfort zone is probably, fear or anxiety or, pain and sorrow is at the very bottom, or unconsciousness is at the very bottom. And that's where a lot of people are. They're simply unconscious because that is their comfort. And so I'd like to know more. I'd like to explore this a little bit more with you in some capacity. And if you feel like there's anything that we can do together, then let me know. Otherwise, just tell me how you want to work this. And I think that what we're doing and what you're doing isn't anything that should be forced. It will just manifest.
Yeah, it will organically happen the way it's supposed to.
Well, I mean, otherwise we wouldn't be spending this much time with each other right now.
Right.
There must be something there.
Right. Well, beautiful. I'm just looking at the time and wow.
Yeah.
I still have to do my shopping. So, but anyways, yeah. I hope this was useful. I hope you found it useful with your project and with what's going on here. I just know that I must stay focused on my task at hand, which is the reason why I was sent back, which I've been doing for the last 29 years and will continue to do. It's rewarding how it's playing out, the people that are coming forth, and
Sure.
but at the same time, it's as every day goes by, as every week goes by, there's just so many more things.
That's the sense that I get, is that what we're cultivating right now with each other, because it does feel like a bit of work, that I think that we're going to be able to be supportive to each other when the time comes.
Right.
Because the same thing, the same way that you feel like you have to do this, so do I. I mean, I'd much rather be doing something else. I'm a watercolor painting. And, I know that's what I like me to do. It's just this, I have to get this, I feel like I have to get something done here. And I'm not sure what it is. At least you have a clear idea.
Yeah, my vision has been the same vision for 28 years. It hasn't changed. It's just become a little more. The toughest thing for me was to put it in an easy speak format, and so.
Yeah, and I think that's probably where you can help me, because I have done so much, in my life, and I am not exactly sure how this is all going to pan out. I do know that, there's a lot of people interested in what, we're learning. It's something that I knew would become popular. I think there's a lot of people that are, trying to make money off of a little bit of knowledge that's not, they don't really want to or have the time to put into it, which I understand, because it takes a lot to read a statute and then to, go through and do your due diligence. It's like writing a thesis every time you want to learn something. So yeah, it's a lot of work, but it is worthwhile.
Right.
And
Well,
it's necessary,
definitely
if I may,
feel this.
it's necessary, JC. If we are going to manifest what you're saying, they have to be so open-minded to go in and do the healing. But part of all of our healing is that we've been in the wrong jurisdiction because we got deceived. The word of God.
People have to be vulnerable, right? It's
They have to
vulnerable
be
and honest with
humble.
themselves.
The Bible says humble too, which
Right,
is vulnerable.
and vulnerability is like at the core of emotion, right? And so when you are vulnerable, you can get into that unconscious mind and that spirit led place that is timeless. It's the messaging that comes to people is not in time, right? It's not like anything you've ever known before, right? It's pure. It's the pureness of God, and so.
And that's what everybody ultimately wants.
That's exactly, and
There-
that's what everybody ultimately is,
Right.
right? We've just been so deceived, as you say, of being distracted and looking to the left when we should be looking straight ahead.
I think we should be looking up. It's like you can't go left, you can't go right.
Yeah,
Because
that's
it's
even
all
better.
too
Yeah,
corrupt.
Up.
There's
That's exactly
nowhere
right.
else
Exactly.
left to look but to level up. God gave
Yep.
me that. It's like a little.
I totally agree with that, because
But
everybody's
that's what
looking in every direction.
Well,
and
they're
it's-
looking left or right. Everything is black or white, male or
Yeah.
female, Republican, Democrat. It's always this, somebody has to win consciousness. And the reality is, we're not being taught everybody wins consciousness. And here's the way I look at it. Well, if we all know we're in the wrong jurisdiction, like it's either go down, we don't want to go down because that's the pit. The only place left to go is to level up, but we got to like shake off left and right duality reality and Joe, oh my God, we're in the wrong jurisdiction.
And not only are we in the wrong jurisdiction, we're in the wrong mindset.
Well, even in our brain, that's like your jurisdiction mindset. We're in the wrong place.
Well, the brain is nothing more than a receiver that gets the energy from the mindset, right? And so all we've ever known is an outside mindset of fear and chaos, and that's what's growing. And so it's about moving to that inside mindset of euphoria, love, and abundance that God is. That's why I didn't want to come back, because that's what I was. And I've had the start of that feeling, a couple of times since I've been back, and I just had it the other day. I think I had it yesterday when
Where did you go?
sorry.
Since you've been back, what do you mean by back? Where did you go?
Well, I was dead.
Oh, but that was a while ago, right?
That was 29 years ago. Yes.
Yeah. So
So I was only dead 2 to 3 minutes in time, but I was into the simultaneous time eternity that God is. Like I was even in the first stages of the pre-planning of time and timelessness, and all the way through to the end as to how it ends, that I told you about today, that the light element of Genesis 1 of us all becoming Jesus, and every person who has ever lived coming back exactly as they were, but not with the darkness. There's no darkness. There's no fear and chaos. It's all gone, and so that's how we all become eternal in one. And not only in this universe, but when we come back, his soul and spirit moves into every other universes in various life forms as well, right? And so that's how God ends it all. And so yeah, and so I know that element. I know the timeless element way better than I know the time element. I just know the time element is so deceived and so flawed and so limited and so restricted and so enslaved. I know that, but it's reaching people. That's the tough part. Reaching people so that not in their head. They can't understand it in their head. It's all about them feeling it, right? And so that's the key is through feelings and through emotions, and that's God's portal. Like no one gets to that place that I've been shown to lead people through. Nobody gets there through anything to do with the mind, because the mind just can't comprehend it, right? It's all through feelings. It's all about being that vulnerable place where we can access that portal, right? And that's what God speaks to. He speaks to the meek, like, and
it rings true. I mean, it rings true throughout the ages with, things that everything from in scripture to what a lot of people have, throughout the years have written about. Neville Goddard was one. I told you about Florence Scovel Shinn.
right.
They were in the 30s and 40s, and then there was another wave of healers that came through in the 80s and 90s, and then now it's just pretty much opened up again, and they all refer to the feeling, the emotion of it.
That's it. That's the key. The emotion is the key.
And when I saw the healing, the actual physical healing that happened on people, there's also people that had, and I've seen it myself, the iris will change when people experience the emotion. And it's about, acknowledging and having the desire and the courage to feel, because a lot of people don't want to feel.
Absolutely. People don't want to feel because they're scared.
Yeah, and that's what it felt like for me tonight, to walk through the flame, because I just saw this flame, and walking through the flame it's when you break down, you become something new, and it's faith is really facing your fear. Faith is fear. It's really the opposite of fear. It's the other side of fear.
It's the other side of fear, absolutely.
Yeah. So all of that rings true. That is the place of healing. That is the place of truth. When you can walk through and, really sense the difference and the ability to move through the lower emotions and, kind of hang out at the top. That's the goal. That's where I'd like to be anyway.
Well, that's where I was, and that's where I didn't want to leave, and that's been my driving force ever since I've come back. Not only to know that I will get there, but to help everybody else get there as well, right? But it's their free will choice, whatever they want to do.
All right, that's why you're here, is to show everybody else. And I think everything that we're doing is in some way accompanying each other. It's supporting each other. There is a real strong emotional element to all of this, but it's not everything, because as Ahava pointed out, you still have to go to work or drive your car or listen to the news, or and it's how it's offering solutions or alternatives. And for us, for what we're doing here, you do move upscale when you become more aware, and you become more aware through learning how to learn again, education. And so how do you present it to people? And that's where, that's the challenge, is it not?
That is absolutely the challenge, and I know that I've been granted access to speak again because I know when I speak on stage, and I think Ahava knows what I'm talking about when I say this. I can move a crowd. I can move people. I sense them. I feel them, and it's just used by God. The words just flow out of me, right? To reach the crowd, and they're always different. The crowds are always different, and the words that come out of you are always different.
Yeah. Yeah, it's nothing you can plan for. I wouldn't think.
You can't plan for it at all. Like I've written, so many times I've written out what I'm going to say, and I try reading it, and I always fall. I'm like, oh, why do I always do that? But I haven't done that in years. But anyways, beautiful. I hope tonight has been helpful, and so. Ahava, you're going to be involved with Cynthia in the program starting Monday, right?
Yes.
You're going to love Cynthia.
I'll see her Monday.
Yeah, you're going to love Cynthia. We've had about 6 or 8 in each class, and that's the size that she likes. I think I've got 10 or 12 that could be there this week, including you, and I don't know how many it's going to be. It might only be 4 or 6, but it will be whatever God wants it to be.
Okay, sounds good. Maybe Antoinette will be joining us. Who knows?
Yeah. So, Antoinette, we've gotten to know each other in a rather unique way, and it's very different than how I usually meet everybody else. But Ahava's been flying in that 40,000 foot zone with me as well, so I know exactly what you mean on that. And so I'm meeting a lot of her people, and Aaron's on board. Like Aaron's 100%. And he can't make the training, so I've been training him. But no, he's 100% on board. Joanne hasn't done anything yet. I haven't heard a thing from Cowie or Ryan, but.
Well, Ryan would do it. He's just short on finances, but I'm trying to figure out some stuff that, like I said, because if we can all get going. He knows a lot of wealthy people, that one, so I always try to help people if I can get going, if I know they're producers and they've got connections. And
yeah, no, I love meeting every one of them. I love meeting every one of them, and so beautiful. So good luck with you guys with the project you're doing.
Well, I think it was helpful. I feel a lot of peace in my spirit. I think we're not really at odds. We're just have two different, very distinct
you guys have two different perspectives as to how at this point it's meant to move, right? And I get both of your positions. I totally understand because they're both 100% valid.
Well, they're both important to the whole thing working, right? But they're not the same, and it's like your part isn't the same either. But it's like one of the missing parts, very important, right? So on a couple levels. I mean, on the level of getting people to break out of their belief system, number one, but number two, even when you get that, like we do have a financial issue on the planet, and if we can be a part of the solution rather than the problem. Hallelujah.
Well, you know that every dollar that comes into my organization, I pay out 60 cents, right? So the other 40% is left for administration and taxes. So it's not like
if we move it into a 508 where people make a love offering donation for their membership, there won't be any more taxes. Just hallelujah. So just saying.
Yeah. Well, what about offerings on that? Is it tax deductible?
Anything in a 508, just like a 501c3, we can offer receipts for their donations. I give my tenants who stay at our ministry house, like for all of their receipts for the year, I give them a donation. So they make a huge donation. And it's great for them.
Oh, so basically everything in the 508c is quote unquote tax deductible.
We're not doing business. Remember, Jesus said, right? You're gonna either love one or the other. You're not gonna love business or me. right?
Yeah, no, the only thing that I don't know about is how my payment providers who allow my money to come in would handle that, right?
Well,
Like I don't have any reason to.
you
Well,
you
I
can
don't have any
cancel
investors
the
in me at all, to be
Okay,
disclosed.
so you, by the way, so a 508 can own LLCs, and then you've heard it before, JC, own nothing, control everything, right? So you
Right,
don't
right.
have to own your business. You can donate it, gift it to the 508. You can have your own 508. We can do a collective 508. Antoinette and I have been trying to decide for 3 years how to set up our own 508 just for TKC, because I have a 508, which is a church ministry for our church, and then I also have 508s for the trusts, right? Some of them are trust entities and some are just church designation. So I told her it didn't matter what we did. We could put it up under the church and then have each ministry, meaning JC's got his ministry, Ahava's got hers, Antoinette's got hers.
So basically, as people are earning their 100,000 a year off of what I'm doing, if it's all in a 508, there's
It's all tax exempt. And they're all
It's all
doing
tax
and they're
exempt.
all doing ministry. Isn't that what we're doing? We're making disciples and we're setting the captives free. So that's why I said to you, it only makes sense to me if we do this as a ministry, and instead of people paying for a business, because I'm not interested in setting people up in business. I'm interested in manifesting the kingdom of heaven on earth. And the only way to do that is get them out of Babylon. So they have to make the decision anyway. We're just teaching them through.
You know, that should be something that
It can be part of it, can be part of it, of just being set up to be disciples and have your own ministry, because technically them becoming coaches in your, we're going to call it a ministry from this point on, but in your ministry versus business, by them becoming coaches, it's like becoming a pastor. It's really no different, because you're doing it all for the kingdom of heaven. The only difference I see between you calling it a pastor and a coach is just the same reason I call it new creation coaching. Because I call what I do new creation coaching, because it says in the Bible that Jesus turns everybody, makes a new creation out of them. They get a new name in Christ.
Well, that's what the divine Jesus is. It's the new creation.
Right. Exactly.
It's the new creation. It's a new creation of God.
Right, and there's a new Jerusalem coming down out of heaven.
Well,
New Jerusalem means a new
that's
city.
exactly what's happening right now.
So why can't Antoinette create a website that has a directory in it? That's where you register yourself in the kingdom of heaven. I've been saying we need a phone book called the Book of Life. And we need to have all our new people, when they're getting done with all this stuff we're teaching them, you're teaching them how to do this. They can't. What's the point of going back to being the same? You want to be a new creation for real. 100%.
That new creation is being timeless.
Well, timelessness isn't agreeing to be in the phone book considered a dead fiction entity.
No, exactly. That's what I mean. That new creation is being a timeless being of what God is.